What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another video. This one is for Thursday night football. My Atlanta Falcons are playing against the Carolina Panthers. I get to watch my Falcons blow it again. So super excited about that. Super excited to see my Falcons lose once again. Yeah, so just I can't explain how excited I am about that. GreenlightDFS.com to join the squad. Do so before Thursday night football. You'll get the Thursday Showdown. You'll get Saturday college football, Sunday night, Monday. Y'all get the gist by now. All right, so greenlightdfs.com. Let's go ahead and get into this. First thing I want to talk about for this game is that we have some weather. All right, we could have some possible rain, and we could have some high winds. All right, so with that being said, it's a big plus to the run game on both sides. That's number one. We have a big plus on the run game. Number two, deep passes are going to be affected. So long bombs most likely probably won't happen a ton. I mean, they can happen as long as the pass is perfect and the wind catches it just right and, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, so deep passes, it'll affect deep passes, it'll affect kicking. So there will be a lot of short passes here. So let's go ahead and, with that said, break it down. Starting off at captain, my favorite captain for this showdown slate, and I'm not really going to overthink it at all, is Mike Davis. Now, Mike Davis has had a rough few weeks, all right? But if you look at it, you'll kind of understand why. All right, Mike Davis has had a tough schedule the last 2 weeks. Chicago and New Orleans, both teams solid against the run. All right, Chicago has been really, really good, and he still got 12 against Chicago's defense. This last week against New Orleans, I'm not too worried about that. I think he's going to blow up here against Atlanta once again. Played Atlanta week 5. We played him that week. Everybody and their mama played him that week. He got 29 DraftKings points, got 10 targets, 9 receptions, 60 yards. On top of that, he got over 15 carries for 89 yards. Expect the same type of situation here. With the wind being bad and there possibly being rain, not only is Mike Davis going to get 15 carries, but he's also going to get tiny little dump-offs from Bridgewater, like little screen passes, little dump out, little wheel routes, stuff like that. Will definitely be designed for Mike Davis here in this one. And Atlanta gives up a ton of pass catching backs. Still, they haven't changed anything with that. So Mike Davis is the captain that I'm going to be going with, especially with, the matchup is already A1. Number two, you add in the weather. Deep passes are affected. A lot more running back usage. Mike Davis is the guy. I don't know why I'm even spending more than 10 seconds talking about that. Mike Davis is your guy. Christian McCaffrey will miss once again, so he is your guy that you want to go with. Now, there's some interesting choices on Atlanta, and I have a value guy that I'm hoping will stay sneaky, but after this video probably won't be. Maybe people will think I'm an idiot and won't play him, so maybe we will get him at a lowest ownership, but I'll talk about him in a little bit. Now, outside of Mike Davis on the Carolina side, Bridgewater, Anderson, and DJ Moore all in play as well. If I had to pick between Anderson and DJ Moore, I would go Anderson, solely on the fact that he gets more targets more consistently. All right, plain and simple. He's just more consistent with the targets. DJ Moore will have those games where he just blows up and gets a ton of targets, but Anderson is more consistent with it. We know for sure we're going to get some solid targets out of Robby Anderson. So Robby Anderson is the guy that I favor out of those two receivers. But if you need the money, okay, so this is kind of where it comes down to. If you don't need the money, Robby Anderson is my favorite when it comes to the Carolina receivers. If $1,000 savings from 92 to 82 can do big things for you in your lineup, then 100% do it. If the upgrade is big enough for you that you're able to make with that $1,000 savings, do it. All right. Now, Todd Gurley. Now, this is the part, I'll go ahead and talk about my value guy since I'm on this topic. Todd Gurley ruined the game for Atlanta last week. That's not why I'm not going to have a ton of exposure to him. I understand getting some exposure to him because, like I said, the weather and the situation matches up perfectly. Now, the interesting thing here for me, though, is Todd Gurley got a huge workload last week. All right, he got 23 carries against Detroit just Sunday. Now they have to play again Thursday. I'm expecting a little bit more out of the backup than we're used to. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and pull that backup up. Brian Hill. Brian Hill is the backup to Why am I blanking? Our boy Todd Gurley. All right, with Todd Gurley getting 23 carries just Sunday, and this game turning around playing Thursday, this is interesting to me. On top of that, Hill is the pass catching guy that comes in on third downs. He's a guy that gets 3 targets a game almost. Okay. On top of that, there's some games where he'll get 10 carries. I'm thinking this is one of those games where he gets 10 carries. He gets another 3 to 5 targets in the pass game. Brian Hill is probably going to be utilized a lot more than we're used to seeing him here because of the quick turnaround in the schedule going from playing Sunday to Thursday. And the biggest thing is Gurley just got a big workload, 23. Now, we all know Gurley's kind of wanting to be watched. You know, he's got that lingering issue that he's got going on, I believe, with his knee. And it's an issue that you got to expect the Falcons to kind of lean back a little bit with Gurley and not push him too hard on a game flipping that quickly to the next game. So expect a lot of Brian Hill in this game, and I'm hoping he stays low owned. All right, so everybody who thinks I'm an idiot, don't you dare play him. But Brian Hill at 2-2 really opens up floodgates for other opportunities. And like I said, with Todd Gurley having the workload, I think Brian Hill is sneaky, and I think he's going to get some work here. All right, and with them being underdogs, expect Brian Hill to get 5 targets. I'm going to predict that he gets the most targets he's gotten out of any game, and he gets 5 or more targets in the pass game. And I'm also expecting 8 to 10 carries. All right, so Brian Hill is a fantastic option at 2-2. Now, Atlanta is an underdog. I talked about the weather, but Matt Ryan can dink and dunk a ton with these weapons that he has. So Matt Ryan, running back Mike Davis, I'm completely fine with. I definitely like Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's 11K. I prefer Matt Ryan over Bridgewater solely on the fact of game script, how we're looking here. Atlanta's expected to be down here in Carolina. So with that being said, Matt Ryan should have to throw more. And Matt Ryan just has the better weapons. Okay, like, yes. All right, Anderson and DJ Moore are solid weapons, and Mike Davis are solid weapons, but they're no Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Todd Gurley, Hurst. These guys are just Matt Ryan's got the better target tree around him, and Matt Ryan also is really good at these little dink and dunk plays. So to run it back, plus you're gonna have plenty of money most likely. Now, if you don't want to go Matt Ryan, I understand. Go a pass catcher. Julio Jones is priced at 9.8, only being 600 more than Robby Anderson. Julio wasn't on the injury report, so he's getting a lot better with his health. He's starting to get healthier and healthier, and Julio Jones, I don't need to explain too much for you. All right, so if you want to take Matt Ryan off and you say, I want his pass catchers, I don't want to deal too much with Ryan, then I completely understand, and that's another option that I'll be looking for. Remember, this is the beginning of the day. I'll be researching this all day, and things could change by the end of the day. That's why I want to mention other scenarios. Julio Jones at 9.8, only 600 more than Robby Anderson, definitely intrigues me. I can't lie to you. All right, Julio Jones is 9.8 compared to Ridley being 10.2. I do prefer Julio. Julio has been coming around the last few weeks. All right, and Julio's a guy who can absolutely dominate at any given week. He missed the last game against Carolina. But like I said, he's dealt with some injury issues this year, but he's ready for Thursday. He didn't have an injury designation. He was a full participant in Wednesday's walkthrough. So I'm excited about Julio Jones here, and I think he could have a huge game. So yeah, Mike Davis, and then running it back with Julio. I am going to finalize that for you guys. I was going to go Matt Ryan and say Matt Ryan, but I think I would rather go Julio. Julio Jones is just over 1,000. He's $1,200 less than Matt Ryan, and he's going to be one of Matt Ryan's favorite targets. In full point PPR, Julio Jones is interesting to me. Now, we run the risk of injury, obviously, but that's with any player in the NFL, honestly. And Julio Jones is just a fantastic option. I love him. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go Robby Anderson. I do love both the quarterbacks. I think both of them are going to do a lot of dinking and dunking. I don't think this is one of those games where they both throw for over 300 yards. It's a very solid matchup against easy defense, but like I said, the weather could definitely impact deep throws and a lot of big plays. But yeah, I'm definitely wanting some of these pass catchers. Mike Davis, Julio Jones, and Robby Anderson. These are 3 of the highest targeted players in this game. And I definitely am going to be prioritizing these guys a lot. All right. Outside of that, I talked about Brian Hill opening some things up for you at 2-2. Ian Thomas expects, like I said, tight ends are guys who also benefit from situations like this with the weather. 2-6, Ian Thomas, Brian Hill 2-2. Love these guys. Zacchaeus could make an appearance for 1,000 if you really want to start getting cute. Ito Smith is interesting at 800. Let me check and see what he has been doing. I haven't been paying much attention to Ito. he'll come in and get some targets from time to time. He's a pass catching guy, so Ito Smith could be utilized at 800. I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a hit value for sure at 800. I do prefer Brian Hill though. He's obviously the Falcons' favorite there. I'm not too interested in kickers unless that weather dies down. All right, unless that wind dies down, I'm not too interested in getting kickers. Curtis Samuel is definitely interesting to me. He got some solid targets last week. 5.4 is a solid price for him. But yeah, prioritizing Mike Davis at captain. I'm going to start there and then not overanalyze it and just go from there. Mike Davis is my favorite captain. Julio Jones to run that back. Julio's my favorite Atlanta Falcon. When it comes to top scoring potential, I think it's going to be Julio this game. I think this is I'm just calling it. My gut is screaming Julio, especially for only 600 more than Anderson. If you have to choose between the two and you can't go both, I would go Julio because it's only $600 difference. Plain and simple. Now, it's hard to know who I'm probably going to get 4 of. If I had to guess, I'll probably end up Mike Davis and Anderson are probably going to be my 2 favorite Carolina, and then I'll probably do 4 Atlanta. Or maybe it's a 3-3 day. Who knows? Just play with it. I hope I was able to get you guys started. Mike Davis, Julio Jones, Robby Anderson is the core for this. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad. And let's get this money, y'all. Good luck. Peace.